Well, I started this project on Memorial Day weekend, and it's now Labor Day weekend, and I just got my base plate. So supply chain 2021 issues, the whole thing. Anyhow, e-trailer let me down. I then ordered from Amazon. They let me down. They canceled the order, couldn't get the base plate. I called around a lot of different places trying to find it, and so I started calling Blue Ox dealers. I found a website, rvcampchamp.com, and I got through to someone there. I believe he's the owner. His name's Tom George, and I spoke with him, and he was really the first person that I talked to that really could tell me anything, and he verified that there were no base plates available in any of the Blue Ox warehouses across the United States, and then contacted Blue Ox to get an ETA on a manufacture date, which he did, and they were pretty close to that. So I got to give a shout out to Tom George at rvcampchamp.com. If you're looking to do this project, you're going to need a base plate and other parts. I would definitely give him a call. His direct line is 877-736-2267, and you can reach Tom at extension 114. So great guy to talk to. He's been in the business a long time, it sounds like, and he really did some nice customer service for me. So Tom, I appreciate it. And now we're ready to continue the video on the installation of the base plate and finalizing our setup for flat towing. Okay, here is everything that came in the base plate kit. You have the base plate. You have these pins that fit in here. They're removable in nice sleeves. You definitely want to hold on to those sleeves. Keeps the aluminum very nice. These are the safety cables that will hold the base plate to the frame of the vehicle. Of course, you got a package of bolts and nuts, and you also, with that comes a bracket. This is where I'm going to mount my electrical connection with the 4-prong plug-in that's going to go to the RV. You get some instructions, and you also get this, which I'm not going to use this, but this would be a bracket if you're going to install a supplemental braking system. I'm not going to be doing that. That is for the disconnect for that system. And then you're going to get these 4 screws, and as you can see, it's a weldment onto a nut. So I saw in the one video that I'll have linked below, I'm going to have a couple of links to videos below that I would highly recommend you look at. A couple of them are going to show you how to remove the fascia in case I don't get a good look at it from the front of the vehicle. And the U-Haul video shows an installation of this base plate, and how those weldments come in handy. I don't know if I'm going to need those or not. We'll find out. But that's what came in the base plate that I was waiting for. Okay, here are the tools that you're going to need to do this job. Here are a set of instructions. It's the same as what came in the Blue Ox base plate kit, but I downloaded these from eTrailer.com, and as you can see, they're on 8.5 by 11 pages, so they're a little bit easier to read. It's exactly the same thing. You're going to need some lighting. I have a utility light over there hanging on the hood. Here's another one that I got from Harbor Freight that's going to be handy. You're going to need a torque wrench, some additional lighting. I've got the battery operated drill and ratchet, could come in handy. You're going to need an 8mm socket and a 14mm socket for removing some of the bolts on there. And this is, I believe it's a 13 by 13 32 bit. I'll have to look that up and check it in a second. A couple of Phillips screwdrivers, pair of pliers, You're going to need some Loctite when you're going to install the base plate, the new base plate on. And you're going to need you'll use this a lot. This is a Torx T30 bit. This one works with a ratchet, which you're going to need that. Okay, this is the part that scares most people in doing this job, in any job like this. You have to remove the front fascia from the Fiat. So it's going to be this front fiberglass fascia that's got to come off so that you can mount your base plate to the frame of the vehicle. This is not going to be that difficult. Again, I did it before. I'll do it again. I'll walk you through it step by step. Again, go to the links on the videos. Some of them may show more clearly than what I'm able to show you here, but really very easy process. Just take your time, be careful, follow the instructions step by step. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take out these T30. There's 4 T30 screws on top, and we're going to remove those. There's also going to be 3 of those on the bottom, same thing, that you're going to take out, and so you're going to remove those first. Here are the Phillips screws. There's 1, 2, 3 that we're going to remove. It's a good idea to turn the wheel in, as you see. It makes it a little bit easier to access. Okay, I want to show you where this other Torx bit is, Torx screw. So as you see, I'm going to have to pull back the liner here. We're looking up from the bottom of the vehicle and into the fender, and you can see that sitting in there. So if you pull this back, just can't really get a good look at it. It's going to be in there. So a little tough to get to, but we'll get it. While you're in there, while you have access to the bulb socket there, you want to remove that at the same time. Just pull it straight back and it will come off. Now we're going to do the same thing with the wheel well on the other side. The 3 Phillips screws and the T30 Torx screw comes out. We're in step 3 now, so we'll need the Phillips again to remove 1 screw from either side of the bottom of the fender, and then underneath, in step 4, we're going to use the T30 Torx socket to remove 3 Torx screws from underneath the fascia. So that'll be next. Okay, we're on step 5. So in step 5 is one where you do need to be a bit careful. This is where we've removed all the screws that hold the fascia in place. There are clips on either side of the fenders that connect the fascia to the actual fender. These clips just release by pulling out away from the fender. The 2 that are closest to the wheel well are pretty easy. The last one closest to the headlight can be difficult, so I've got a trim removal tool which can be helpful with that. I also suggest checking out the links below, because there were a couple different ways that they showed to do this, and I suggest you look at those. Just be careful with this part. You don't want to pull too hard, but just hard enough to release the clips, and then you can see how they work. Okay, we're gonna pull out on the front panel here. We need to get underneath the liner. Okay, I got the second pin out, and the key is, I think you have to work it from near the top here. And again, get in as much as you can. Okay, there's all 3. So all 3 are out. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, this is the other side. And again, you want to pull near the top here. Get underneath the liner, right there. Pull near the top and straight up. There's the first one. So I'm going to work my hand in there. There's a second one. There's a third one. So all the clips are off. Not too tough. Again, you just got to take your time. You do have to use a little force. Again, keep your hand near the top. Move your hand inside so that you're pulling back here and not on the edge as you're getting to the last one. Now we're going to I got it, the fascia sitting on actually the box that the base plate came in for support. Now I'm going to disconnect the lights and we'll be able to pull the fascia off and put it away and set it in a safe place. Okay, we've already removed the connection to the side marker here. The only other one is for your fog light, and I have removed it. There's just a release pin right here. You push and you pull it straight back. So we'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, this is the Fiat with the front fascia removed. So now we're ready to move on to the next step. For step 6, we're going to remove the air deflector using an 8mm socket to remove the 2 screws on the driver's side and the 1 screw on the passenger side, and this will not be reinstalled. And then step 7, we're going to use a 14mm socket to remove the 4 lower bolts in the bumper horn bracket and on both sides of the vehicle, and this will also not be reinstalled. We're on to step 8. Align the base plate with the 4 holes and use the existing bolts to secure the base plate. Do it on both sides of the vehicle. So basically those, when I said these parts will not be installed, you are reusing the bolts from the bumper horn bracket. You're not going to keep the bumper horns, but you need the bolts from those for the base plate. So now we're going to put the new base plate on, align it with the 4 holes, and use those bolts to tighten it to the base plate. We're not using the Loctite yet. We're just putting them in for right now. Okay, one of the things that I've done on these bolts that came out of the bumper horn bracket that are now going to hold on the base plate is I'm putting some 3-in-1 oil on them. I'm going to run them in again and run them back out. I had the base plate up trying to fit it, and they were a little tight, so I'm just doing this to they're not rusted, but to make sure they're easier to go in. Okay, with the base plate temporarily in place, we have the 13/32 bit to drill 2 holes on both sides, and we will use these nuts to hold in place along with the bolts in the kit. This holds them up because there's a channel you can't really get up in there. So you can see clearly how to do this on the U-Haul video if you want a better view. Do yourself a favor and invest in some cobalt drill bits for this job. That's some hardened steel in there, so take it from me. Okay, now that I have the holes drilled here, one of the supplied bolts and lock washers that came with the base plate is going to go in here, and because it's an enclosed tube, we have this nut that's on a weldment, and I've got to fish that up through. Now, since I don't have this up on a rack, I'm going to have to bend this somehow so that I can fish this up through and attach the bolts to the nuts. So I'll give it a go. Okay, I just wanted to show you how this works. you can see I bent the weldment that went to the nut, and I was able to position it in place so that I could just ratchet the bolt on. I did that with both of them. When I'm done, I'm just going to cut off the excess weldment wire with the lineman's pliers. So we'll be set. Okay, now I am going to remove 14 millimeter bolts that attach the base plate to the frame one at a time, and I'm going to apply some Loctite 242 to them. Okay, now I'm attaching the safety cables to the base plate and the frame of the vehicle, and then I've got this quick link that ties the two ends together. I just need to tighten it up with an adjustable wrench, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Well, hopefully you can see that the safety cables have secured the base plate to the frame, and again, they're there just for emergency purpose. All set. Okay, now I'm going back to my electrical line that I ran from my rear lights to the front, and I'm going to find a way to drop this down through and run it over to the center of the base plate, where I'll attach the 4-pin connector, where I have a coil connector that will go from that to the 7-pin on the RV. Back at it today. Took a day off, played a little golf, and now I'm refreshed, ready to go. It's a rainy day today. We're getting the remnants of Hurricane Ida here in Pennsylvania. So a little wet out, but it's not going to stop us. We can do everything we need to do right in the garage. So let's get started. Okay, where we left off is I routed my the remaining wiring up onto the base plate and through the engine compartment. So I've got it there. I've got a lot of extra, as you can see. We are going to mount the mount for our Hopkins plug there and make our connection. What I wanted to do, try to do after learning from the last time, is I do want to leave a little extra wire here somewhere, so that if I have to pull out the Hopkins plug from the front, it'll give me a little bit room to work with the wiring. So I'll see if I can do that. So we're going to do that, but first what we're going to do is we're going to put the fascia back up on the car so that we can see. We're going to have to do a little trimming in the front grille area of the fascia, and first we'll see where these are hitting, try to mark that, and carefully make some cuts around the fascia so that we can move it further in, and then we'll see where these are hitting and this, and we'll be able to make additional cuts. So this is an area where you want to take your time, so I didn't want to finish that up the other day when I was getting a little tired. I thought I'd do it when I'm a little refreshed, so we're going to try that first. Okay, I don't know how well you can see this, but the two bars where you would attach your tow bar that are protruding from the base plate are really right on the bottom, like right here is where you'll find them hitting right now. Now, this isn't fitted up exactly perfect, but naturally they're going to be right at the bottom. So I'm going to mark those, and we'll make a couple of cuts there. And again, take your time with this, do a little at a time. You don't want to cut too much if you don't have to. So once we are able to get those through the grill, we'll be able to get a little better picture of how it's all going to fit. So I have them, I have it held up with just two of the Torx screws right there. So it's not totally fit up perfect, but let's try this first. Yeah, I'm going to use these, actually they're tin shears, aluminum shears, whatever, to cut the grill. You can do it a lot of different ways, but you need something that's going to cut it, and you can, again, finesse it out a little bit afterwards as far as rough edges. Okay, I don't know how well you can see. I got these bars through, which is where you attach your safety cables, but next to them is where you would have put in your removable pins where you would attach your tow bar. So that's right right behind and on both sides, and then of course our electrical connection, we have to make room for that. I don't know if I'll need to remove this license plate or not. We'll see. Okay, I made the cuts along the grill, as you can see, just enough to fit everything through. I don't think I'll have to remove my license plate. And so I think that'll be hopefully a pretty nice fit when we push the grill back into place permanently. But first, we got to finish the electrical connection, and I want to test it before I put that fascia back on completely. This is the 4-pin connector that goes to the RV, and of course you got to connect the wires up correctly. So one of the things that I did was I did a diagram. Hopefully this will be helpful for you. This is what's coming off of the RV. So we have a coiled cord that's going to connect to the 7-pin of the RV, and then this is the 4-pin, and that's what it operates. This is how you're going to connect the 4-pin connector, the male, that is going to mount on the front of the Fiat, and everything needs to be in this position. So I think you can see that it's got to be in a certain position. And there is a little, when I take this apart, there's a little slot that fits on the side. And as long as you pay attention to where that slot is located, you can connect these up correctly. So the right turn, of course, is green, the tail light is brown, the ground is white, and the left turn is yellow, just as we hooked up. So this is the correct connection pattern. Okay, I showed you that diagram a minute ago, and as you can see, there's a slot noted on the diagram, and there is a slot on the side. So there it is. So that's your key to correct positioning of the wires. Before I put the front fascia on, I made one last check of the electrical hookup, make sure the turn signals, the brake lights, the parking lights, everything works the way it should, and it does. So this is the coiled connector that goes in there, and as you can see, it's a 4-prong female. Also, please note, I did mark it with a T for the top, because unfortunately it is possible to get this turned around and your lights won't work right. This also is a Hopkins cord, I believe. I got it on e-trailer, but you can probably get it on Amazon. I don't know the number, but it is a lighted cord. It lights up at night, which the two ends, which is, I thought, helpful. We're going to replace the front fascia now. So when you do that, just make sure you don't forget to, before you clip your tabs in, to replace your lighting connections to your fog lights and your side markers. So okay, I wanted to show you a couple of things on these clips. There is a release, I don't know how well you can see it right here, that you push in to remove the clip. And then on this one, as you can see, there is a release over on this side that you push in. Now they only go in one way, both of them, so you can't get them in the wrong way, but just to get them out, as I learned, you have to release those clips. Okay, I had to reroute my safety cables, and I did that around the bumper, and I brought the cables down to this quick link, this tab down here that the quick link can go into. Now it will, the problem was it wasn't, with the cables running under the frame here, it wasn't allowing the fascia to seat properly. So I had to do it this way, and this will give me just enough, I think, that the fascia should fit up just right. Okay, one of the things I was concerned about was I saw this gap after I installed the fascia back in place, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, what's wrong? And then I realized there's the bolt that goes up on the inside that actually pulls that up a little bit. So no problems. I did I did make sure that I had to do a little extra trimming around the different pieces here, just to make sure that there was nothing restricting anything there. So now, so I've got the clips in. I've started to put in the Torx screws, the 4 on top and the 3 on the bottom. I got a couple of Phillips screws to put on the end here, and then we're just really reversing the procedure. Then I'll go under the wheel wells and put those screws back in, and really we're going to be good to go here. Here's the finished product. Everything looks nice and tight. Your removable pins there, the chrome are beautiful. They come out for a real clean look after you get to your campsite. So love the Blue Ox setup. Very easy to set up and break down. So I would highly recommend that. Well, we got the Fiat all set up for flat towing. We're done. I'm happy, ready to go for our next trip. And many thanks to Tom from RVCampChamp.com. He found me a base plate, got me one when nobody else could. So thank you, Tom. If you enjoyed this, I hope you did. If you're thinking about setting up a Fiat 500 to flat tow, it's not that difficult. I've done 2 of them now. Just take your time and you know, go step by step, and this video should help you out. Also, please leave any comments that you have, questions in the comments below, and check out the links to other videos that might be helpful if you're going to take on this project. So if you like what you see, give me a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and we'll look forward to seeing you out there camping sometime.